Welcome to Elevated Women, the podcast where energetics meets strategy and wealth becomes who you are. I'm your host, Myra Swankotze, subconscious reprogramming master, energetics mentor, multi-seven-figure coach, and Brains 500 global honoree for my work in conscious business leadership. This space is your portal, a frequency upgrade for the woman who's done shrinking and ready to claim everything she came for. Let's melt the old patterns, rewire your money story, and build a wildly aligned business from your highest self. This is your next evolution. Let's begin. Welcome back, Queen. Today we're diving into what it really looks like to move beyond one-on-one coaching and step into creative expansion and overflow business models. This doesn't mean abandoning your one-on-one. In fact, stay here and listen, and I'm going to show you how juicy you can make this for yourself and your clients. Your private containers becomes your most exclusive high-end luxury spaces. But the real expansion happens when you start leading groups and masterminds. That's where scale, community, and overflow come alive. One-on-one work is sacred and beautiful, but it's finite. You can only hold so many calls. Eventually, the cap on your calendar becomes the cap on your growth, your income, and your freedom. I sure as hell didn't create my business to be a full-time employee in it, and I'm sure you didn't either. But here's the thing, we all get stuck in that gap or that trap. We start with one-on-one, and then we get comfortable, and we keep doing it. I did, but keep listening, you'll find out. So instead of dropping my one-on-one, when I did, I elevated it. It became rare, limited, and priced accordingly. Think about it. This is where you can start charging $20K to $50K and even more for private containers. Reserved for a few women a year. These days, my private containers, or this one private container, my one exclusive high-ticket private container, let me put it like that, is capped between 5 and 7 women per year. This is my Limitless Queen program. It's a year program. It's beautiful. It's expansion. And it is really a container for the women that wants that one-on-one space, that high frequency one-on-one space, and that's why it's capped. But I want to tell you that at some point I honestly couldn't continue like that. I saw and realized when I looked at my calendar and I was fully booked for a whole year, Monday to Friday, that this wasn't why I created my business. I wanted freedom, time freedom, most of all, out of my business. And I fell into that trap of creating a fully sold out one-on-one program for a year. It was an amazing achievement, and I patted myself on the shoulder for it, and I still do. But I became exhausted. I didn't reach burnout because that's not how I operate and how I think and how I live. I think it's just part of my human design as well. I have never reached full burnout, but I did get extremely drained and tired and exhausted. And it just clicked for me sort of halfway into that year that I needed something different. I cannot keep increasing my prices because that just didn't feel good anymore as well. And I knew that there needed to be something different. I needed to approach my business from a different point of view where I can create freedom. And of course, we all want to have more money. That's always a great thing to have in your business. And one-on-one keeps you stuck there. Your income stays, eventually plateaus, and you're overworked. And so this is why groups and masterminds became my next level and should become your next level. And I want you to understand here that it's important for you to know this before you get into that trap of having a fully booked calendar for one-on-one coaching. It's really important. But if you're there already, you're just going to have to adjust. And I really encourage you to adjust. It will mean that you have to take an income cut, because if you've got a fully booked calendar already and you've sold out all your coaching, whether it's for months or for a year, it doesn't matter. When you do that, and you want to scale and you want that next level, you're going to have to take an income cut, because you've got to free up time to work on this program, the group program or your mastermind. But it can happen very quickly. It doesn't mean that it has to take months. And it's an energy shift, a mindset shift. When you make that shift, it's really amazing. And when I made that shift, within months, I made more than I did in a full year of one-on-ones. Okay, so I want you to look at that. It really is important, but I want you to learn, or to lean into it, not learn, but to look at it and lean into it, that you don't get to that point where you fully sold out, that you now already look at it and say, I want to implement scalability and freedom in my business, and therefore groups and masterminds is my next level. And here it is. This is why I did it, or how I did it, and you can do it too. Number one, it gave me a lot more time freedom, and that is what I wanted in my business. So all of a sudden, I went from fully booked to working very little time in my business. And it was amazing. It gives you scalability. 1 hour of your time now supports 4 or 5 or 10, 20, 50 women in 1 hour, where in the past you would just support one person. Collective energy. This is very important. Women rise faster in rooms where breakthrough multiplies. When there's that supportive energy and the breakthroughs are happening, it encourages those that are still afraid, that's still held back. And it's far easier than in a one-on-one container. Positioning is the next thing. Leading groups puts you in a category of mentors who lead leaders. And wealth? Well, multiple women invest at once. And if you've got men and women, that's perfectly fine. Or just men, it doesn't matter. It's people. So multiple people invest at once. Still high ticket, but infinitely more scalable. So I made more money very quickly in my business. My calendar opened up and it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. My energy shifted. My clients' energy shifted. And I just fell in love with my business again. And that is what I want for you. So let me continue my story and show you how this works. There are 2 different ways of running and marketing your group programs and your masterminds. Now, I know already you're going to tell me, oh, but it's so difficult and I'm so scared and it's not in my comfort zone. You know what? It's the same thing as when you're coaching one-on-one. There's just more people. That's it. That you're talking to at the same time. It's the only difference. And yes, you have to adjust your program a little bit, but that's easy. Okay, so for me, when I started, it was really a question of live launches, long dragged out live launches. And 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, and I was exhausted, and the women in these live launches were as exhausted, and they fell off. And so I was making money, and I was making good money, but not the money that I could have made. Okay. And they're great if you love launching. If that's you and your energy and your frequency loves that, and that is your human design, falls in that category of letting yourself work like that and launching like that, that's beautiful. It works. I'm not the kind of mentor that is going to tell you that you've got to do things my way. I've tried many things, I've tested many things, and so I can teach you many ways. And in business, every single way works. You just need to find the way that works the best for you, your frequency, your energy, your design. So I got myself in a place again in my business where I was exhausted and I was making good money, but I hated it. I really ended up hating my business tremendously. And at that point, I needed to burn it down again and look at a different way. And what I did was, I knew before I burned it down, I needed to find what worked for me, a better way, a way that could really support me, a way that I could be energetically and from a frequency of love work in my business again. And so I decided that open enrollment and evergreen groups and masterminds was what I was going to go for. And I absolutely ended up loving them, and I still use that model today. And here's why. Women can come in and join at any point in time when they're ready. There's no pressure for me to push people, because when I do that, I don't feel that they really get what they need to out of the program. So they can come in when they're ready. And I find, out of my experience over years and years of doing this, that the women that comes in when they fully, truly ready get much better results than those that buy because they don't want to wait for 6 months until you join again, or even 3 months until you join again. They're not quite sure when they're going to be ready, so they buy because of that pressure that's put on them. Okay, if I don't buy now, it's going to be 6 months. Or if I don't buy now, it's going to be 3 months. And I don't necessarily want to wait that long. But they still go in from that energy of, okay, let me get into it because I don't want to wait that long. I know I don't want to wait that long, but it's not the same. They don't put the same energy and frequency into what they're doing with you in that container. The other thing is also, you can lose women for clients, okay? Because if they don't buy now and they become ready in that period of time, they might become ready 2 months down the line. And now they're ready and they want that expansion or that growth or that relationship or that social media content or whatever it is that you do, or that healing. And now they're going to find it somewhere else. And that's fine if that's what you're okay with. You just need to know that that can happen. That said, there are still plenty of people that's going to join you when you launch. And if that is for you, brilliant. It wasn't for me, okay? So yes, it gives you consistent income and less pressure than launch cycles. I hated that. I hated the launch cycles. I hated the pressure. And I find that the groups now become a living, breathing ecosystem. It's not a start and close thing. It stays living and breathing, and women come in. So I start a group with about 5 women, and then every single month I bring in 3 or 4 or 5 women, however many I bring in for that month. But I never exceed 5 women because I feel that it just doesn't work well for the ecosystem when you bring in too many women at a time. So they still capped. I cap them by the amount of women that I bring in, but it gives me constant income. The way I market is different from when I launch do a live launch. I might still decide to do a short 2 or 3 day launch if I want to. I can just post about it. I can just send emails to my email list. So there's many ways that I can bring in 4 or 5 new clients every month into my open enrollment. And it works brilliantly for me. And it might work brilliantly for you. Here is the thing, both work. And they both work really well. You need to find out which one works with your energy, how you want to design your group programs or masterminds, and how your frequency fits into it all. So I encourage you to go and reflect on this, because I needed to reflect on it when I changed, when I needed to decide whether I'm going to continue hating my business and doing the long stretched out launches, or whether I'm just going to relax and do it my way. And I want to encourage you to go and reflect on this. So listen and make a note about this. Would I rather hold space in big bursts or in steady waves? Go journal about that. Go feel into it. Feel what your body tells you. Feel what your energy tells you and your frequency tells you when you talk about these or think about these two options. Because for me, steady waves felt so much better and still does. But that's me. Now, you might feel exactly the same way as I do. Or you might say, well, I love launching, or I want to give it a try and see if launching works for me. And it's your business. You do what feels good for you. Here are some other options of overflow models that you can use and look into. There's the recorded instant programs, and they can be high ticket or not. Not everyone likes high ticket, and that's also fine. Remember, this is your business. You need to do what feels good in your body. Okay? So if you don't want to do high ticket, look at something different. But yes, there's the recorded instant programs. They can be high ticket, mid ticket, or low ticket. Journals, they are low ticket. Certifications is a high ticket, and memberships is a low ticket. But your recorded instant programs can be instant access programs, can be high ticket as well as low ticket. And I want you to see it, that it's very easy to actually do this. There's 2 ways for that, for recorded instant or for recorded programs, not necessarily instant programs, but for recorded programs, how you start them. But that's for another episode, not for today, because we're running out of time already. So what I do want you to understand or to see is the most natural expansion for a woman moving beyond one-on-one is her first group or mastermind program. It's high ticket, and it brings in more money and more freedom. Okay. Now, I want to tell you about a story. I was in a program, and a lady that was in the program with me contacted me on Facebook Messenger, and we started chatting, and we became really great friends, actually, even though we haven't really met each other. And we don't really speak to each other quite often, but we follow each other's careers and we check in now and again. And so we were having a conversation, and she said to me, I would love to do group programs, but I still feel like it's out of my comfort zone. I just feel that still a little afraid. And I said to her, I was there too, and I know what you feel like, but I need you to see it, and I need you to feel into it. that group programs or masterminds is exactly the same thing as working one-on-one. There's no difference whatsoever. You're just speaking to more people. And it's really a mindset shift that you need to make. Now, she has gone on to make multiple six figures in her business. I think in her coaching business, I don't know, but I think she's made close to $1 million a year already. She's a very well-known coach and are very respected these days because of the fact that she shifted that energy and she makes good money. Okay. So I wanted you to see how easy that can be for you too. Just see it in a different space. Okay. Shift your energy around it. If you need some journal prompts about that, reach out and I'll gladly give you some. Just DM me on Facebook. So here's how you can get started, and I want you to see how easy this really is. You start small. You start your group with 4 to 5 women. And you know what? I've got lots of women that says, well, what if I don't sell it to more than one person? Well, then you just run it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You just run it. You don't have to be ashamed of that. You just tell the client, well, you know what? I didn't manage to sell it out, but now you got a bonus because you get me one-on-one for the price of a group program. Okay? They're going to love it. And so it's not a negative thing. The first time you might not sell 3 or 4 or 5 spaces, but the next time you will, I promise you, because you're going to get more comfortable with it and you're going to find different ways of marketing it and you're going to find different energetic levels and connection with it and you're going to really enjoy it, and I promise you it's going to work. Okay, because they amplify transformation. Okay, high ticket groups are exclusive. You don't want to run a high ticket group with 120 or 150 women in it. Then it's no longer exclusive, and I feel they lose their spark. Okay, we're not men, we're women. We work differently. I love my small groups, and I love bringing in more women. And you know what? The ideal thing about that I forgot to tell you that I want to bring in here because I need to tell you about it is when you actually run the open enrollment. When clients come to the end of their 1 year or 6 months or however long your program is, you can just reach out and re-enroll them again. And it's easy. And many of them do. Many of my clients re-enroll again because it's not a stuck curriculum. My open enrollment masterminds are created so that there's curriculum, but there's also space for coaching. Whatever comes up, there's space for all of that. Okay. And so they find it very stimulating and they get what they want from it. The transformations are amplified and therefore they re-enroll again. And many times I don't even have to talk about it again to say I've got spaces available if I don't want to, because they re-enroll. So for that month, when I have a bunch of re-enrollments, I don't necessarily have to bring new people in. And if I do, well, then I made more money. And that is beautiful. Always beautiful to make more money. I love money. So I want you to go and experiment and play with it. I want you to go and experiment with delivery. Structured curriculum versus an open coaching mastermind. And if you want to ask more questions about that, DM me and we can chat. Okay? But I want you to go and have fun. Feel into it. Be creative. Play with it. It's going to be amazing for you. I know it will, and it's going to change your business and your life. Here are some journal prompts that I want to give you that I want you to really lean into, but have fun with them at the same time. And I want you to do them before you even start thinking of doing groups and open enrollment masterminds or even launched masterminds that you close and open. It doesn't matter, but I want you to go and play with them. You don't have to write them down. Just listen to them. I'll give them to you in the show notes. Number 1, if I were to turn my one-on-one work into a group, what would the focus be? Number 2, do I feel more aligned with running cohorts or having an open enrollment mastermind or group? What feels most elevated for my private container if I positioned it as ultra premium and luxury? Here's the thing. One-on-one is the jewel, rare, precious, reserved. Groups and masterminds are the expansion where your impact multiplies. Your private coaching doesn't fall away unless you want it to. It becomes your most luxury, limited access spaces, and the collective room you lead, they become your playground for expansion, overflow, and legacy. And I say playground because I want you to play with them. They're fun. Have fun with them. Have fun in your business. If this landed, I want you to share this episode with a friend who's ready to rise beyond one-on-one. And if you are ready to design your next level group or mastermind, come on, DM me. I'd love to hear what you are creating. And if you need help, I'm there. DM me and we can chat. Until next time, stay elevated. Thank you for tuning into Elevated Woman. If today's episode activated something in you, share it, tag me, or come say hi in the DMs. And if you're ready to go deeper, head to myriswankotze.com to grab your free gift or explore the offers aligned with your next level. Until next time, own your power, claim your wealth, and rise as the elevated woman you came here to be.